When Tim Cook finally announces the all-new iPhone 13, does it immediately make the current flagship iPhone 12 old and a sort of garbage iPhone? Or is the iPhone 12 series still a great lineup of iPhones that might even be a better buy for you than the iPhone 13? Let's talk through all the differences between the iPhone 12 versus the iPhone 13, which one has the best features, which one will last longer, and which one should be worthy of your hard-earned money, because you don't want to make a mistake. It's not as clear of a decision as you'd think. So let me break it all down. And a huge thanks to Keeper Security for sponsoring this video. Some people, I'm not gonna name any names, have been known for throwing their iPhones to the ground and sometimes shattering those units into a million pieces as soon as Apple announces the latest iPhone. And by all accounts, the iPhone 13 is the flagship iPhone for 2021. On paper, it's got the latest and greatest features, the latest specs. It's the best iPhone you can buy in 2021. Or is it a year to skip the iPhone 13 and consider some other options? And immediately right off the bat, I think there are three main areas to focus on when you are considering an iPhone 12 or an iPhone 13. And that is screen, that is camera, and then there's a category of under the hood improvements like processor, battery life. I'm just gonna call it under the hood, all little things put together that give you a better iPhone experience. Now, just on first glance, looking at the iPhone 12 right next to an iPhone 13, you're gonna be a little hard pressed to notice which one is the newer model, and that is just because there is no substantial design change coming to the iPhone 13. The cameras are a little larger on the Pro models, the cameras are diagonal on the 13 mini and 13, but besides that, you've got basically the exact same industrial design language from the iPhone 12 sticking around on the iPhone 13 this year. They are very similarly designed phones, and that is not an accident. But on the front of the phones, specifically with the displays, is where you'll start to notice some difference, specifically up at the top with the notch. Now, looking at the iPhone 12 versus the iPhone 13, you will notice the iPhone 13 has a slightly smaller notch. Apple is finally giving us a smaller notch on the iPhone 13. All models should have the smaller notch, and if you are just peeved and your gears are grinded by that notch size, then you should be a little bit happy to see the notch is finally getting a little bit smaller here on the iPhone 13. Not a substantial change, probably not going to be a deal breaker one way or the other, but the notch is getting smaller across the entire 13 lineup. Now, in terms of actual screen sizes and screen technology, we're not expecting a whole lot of changes here on the iPhone 13 compared to the iPhone 12. You still have the same sizes for the iPhone 13, a 5.4-inch mini, a 6.1-inch 13, a 6.1-inch 13 Pro, and then a 6.7-inch 13 Pro Max. You have the exact same size options on the 12 as well. Really here though, the screen technology is the big difference, and it's only on the Pro End model. So the 13 Pro and Pro Max will be really the phones this year with the more high-end flagship features. And that really has to do with the new LTPO display technology in those phones that allow for two potentially big features for those phones. The first is ProMotion. Yeah, finally, fingers crossed, Apple is giving us 120 Hz ProMotion on the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. So the refresh rate of the displays is doubling from 60 to 120 Hz, which just makes everything feel snappier, smoother, more responsive. You basically feel like you're getting a faster phone because the refresh rate is doubled. You are getting a better processor and some other under-the-hood improvements, which we'll get to, but on the surface, just because that refresh rate doubles does mean the phone just feels a little bit snappier and a little bit newer and faster than a regular 60 Hz screen. We've of course seen this on Android phones, we've seen it on the iPad Pro, and now it is finally coming to the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max this year in 2021. Now, the other feature that this LTPO technology enables is an always-on display mode. It's basically an ultra-low power mode for the display that, when on, can show you things like the time and maybe notifications, your activity rings. A very simple, minimalistic mode, sort of like what we have on the Apple Watch, could be coming to the iPhone 13 Pro series this year. LTPO enables this to be a feature. We've heard some rumors that Apple could enable this always-on display mode, but in full transparency, this seems to be a lot less of a done deal than ProMotion. ProMotion seems like it's definitely coming to the 13 Pro and Pro Max, while an always on display mode is possible, but not 100% certain for this year's lineup. So hopefully we see it, but one way or the other, LTPO is gonna give us 120 Hertz and hopefully an always on display as well. Like most years though, I think the big deal with the 13 series has to be the camera. That's like one of the biggest reasons most people upgrade iPhones, and a lot of people just wanna see some new camera features in order to get them to spend their money to get a new iPhone. So what is new in terms of camera improvements on the 13 series? Well, on the 13 mini and the 13, not a whole lot is expected to change from last year and everything we got on the 12 mini and the 12. Of course, we're gonna get the diagonal camera system. We're supposed to see sensor shift stabilization go to every model of the iPhone 13 this year, including the 13 and the 13 mini. But in terms of camera lens options and hardware and sensor size, not a whole lot is expected to change. There have been some rumors that LiDAR could go across the entire lineup and we could see different sensor technology inside of the 13 and 13 mini, but that doesn't look like it's gonna pan out. So as of right now, not a whole lot is expected to change on the 13 and 13 mini. Most of Apple's attention and all the big camera features are this year, looks like it's reserved for the 13 Pro and Pro Max exclusively. Now, if you are considering a Pro end iPhone for this year, here's what you can expect in terms of camera upgrades. The ultra-wide lens is getting some improvements, capturing more light with an f1.8 aperture, and also better autofocusing capabilities for that lens. And then the other features looks like are really gonna be coming in the form of software upgrades. According to Bloomberg, Apple is bringing ProRes video support to the iPhone as a recording option, so higher quality, less compressed video should be really cool to see. We also should see portrait mode video as well, so sort of having that ability to sort of blur the background and get that bokeh effect in video mode is coming to the Pro and Pro Max. And then also some photo features, probably some updates to Apple Pro RAW. We could see an astrophotography mode. And Apple is also supposed to add in a new mode that allows us to use AI and different machine learning technologies to better stylize and give custom looks and colors to the photos on the Pro and Pro Max iPhones as well. And then of course, last but not least, we've got all the under the hood improvements coming to the iPhone 13 series as well. Every model should get a bigger battery. It's really great to see. The new A15 processor, so it's more powerful, it's more efficient. A great powerful processor is coming to every iPhone this year. A new Qualcomm 5G chip, so some improvements to 5G, Wi-Fi 6E is supposed to come as well. Basically a lot of under the hood improvements, refinements, things you'd expect for an S year that just make the iPhone experience better battery life, and just make it a little bit more usable and a little bit more premium than what we got on last year's iPhone 12. But speaking of the iPhone 12, as soon as the iPhone 13 goes on sale, we can expect some pretty deep discounts. It's a little unclear if Apple is going to sell the iPhone 12 lineup since it's so close in terms of features and design to the iPhone 13, but regardless of whether or not one model or all models stay around with Apple, you can expect some deep discounts from carriers. And then of course, the used market is going to become absolutely flooded with many people looking to upgrade and get rid of their iPhone 12 models. So sometimes you can find fairly good deals all the way up to really good deals of people just looking to get rid of their phones. So you can expect a lot of different price variations for the iPhone 12 as soon as the iPhone 13 is announced and officially goes on sale, which I guess leads us to the compelling question for this video: iPhone 12 or iPhone 13? If you're gonna spend money on a new phone, which one should you buy? Should you buy one or the other? Should you upgrade from the 12 to the 13? Let me help you break it all down and give you my thoughts. Before we continue with our super detailed iPhone 13 buyer's guide, let me take a quick break and talk to you guys about this video's sponsor, Keeper Security, and their awesome password manager. Now, whether you're using iOS or Android or PC or Mac, one or all, if there's one thing we can all agree on, that is that we want our passwords online to be safe, random, and unique, and secure and out of reach from bad guys. Our passwords are like our digital keys, and you don't want anybody to steal your keys and unlock certain accounts you have online, and that is where Keeper's Password Manager comes in and keep all your accounts and passwords safe, secure, plus a whole lot more. It's a super sleek, simple, and easy to use app that consolidates all your passwords in one safe and secure place and gives you easy access to all those passwords across all your devices through desktop apps and mobile apps and even web access as well. This is your tech's best friend. No longer do you have to worry about getting locked out of your account or forgetting your password or having to reset your account or anything like that. Those days are now long behind you because everything is now safe and secure right inside of Keeper. Something important to keep in mind these days is that you want want your passwords to be unique to the one website you're using. So if a data breach out of your control does happen, that password is not good anywhere else. And that is where the beauty of Keeper comes in. You can make these unique passwords that only work on one site, and also you can make them as random and unique, as complicated as you like, right within the app with just a couple of clicks. It is super simple to do. And the best part of this password manager is that it manages all of these crazy complex passwords for you. You don't have to remember them at all. In fact, Keeper will actually automatically log you into your website, so you're good to go. You can start using your accounts, making it easy for you, but super hard for the bad guys to ever get access to your account and your password. This is not something you want to put off. You want to make sure your accounts are locked down with safe, secure, unique passwords. And the best part about Keeper Password Manager is that you don't have to remember any of these passwords. Keeper has got you covered. They're all safe and secure inside your vault. It is a beautiful thing. I love it. I know you guys are going to love it as well. So if you want to learn more and check it out for yourself today, hit that link down below and use the promo code AppleCircle30 to get 30% off your purchase, and learn more at the link right down below. Now, in my opinion, after helping numerous friends, family members, lots of internet strangers upgrade iPhones, this is my opinion for the 13, and feel free to disagree with me in the comments below. If you have an iPhone 10, an iPhone 8, or any previous generation, so a 2017 phone or older, I think the iPhone 13 is probably gonna be the way to go if you're willing to pay that premium price. Here's my logic behind that. If you've waited now 4 years at least with your current iPhone and you're looking to buy another iPhone that's gonna last you at least another 4 years or longer, then I'd probably go with the iPhone 13 just because you're gonna get the latest and greatest technology, you're gonna get the bigger battery, you're gonna get the better processor, and then the camera improvements as well. The 12 would quite frankly be a pretty substantial upgrade from the phone you have right now, especially if you have like an iPhone 8. But I think that again, if you've waited this long and you're looking to make an investment into another phone that's gonna last you at least 4 years, if you can swing it, I would probably go with the 13. Now, where it starts to get a little trickier is for the generations after that. If you have a 10S, a 10R, an 11, 11 Pro, should you upgrade to the iPhone 13? Well, that's a little bit of a tougher question to answer. I think that if you want to try one of the new sizes, then it would make a lot of sense to look at the iPhone 12, whether it's the smaller 12 mini or it's the larger Pro Max. You'll probably be really happy with the iPhone 12. You'll get all the improvements in terms of smart HDR upgrades, new video recording capabilities, the better high quality OLED screens. All that will be really nice to see on the iPhone 12. I think really the only reason to go with the iPhone 13 is if you really value the camera capabilities. And then of course, the big question here, the one that everyone loves to ask, is should you upgrade from the 12 to the 13? If you've got a 12 or 12 Pro and you're kind of looking at the iPhone 13, seeing what Apple's gonna do, should you make that upgrade? And honestly, I can't tell you one way or the other how to spend your money. That's gonna be up to you. But I will say that if you're looking for an excuse to upgrade, you have my blessing. I and many other people love Apple. We're Apple enthusiasts. We like the latest and greatest, and we like to treat ourselves once a year to a new iPhone. There is nothing wrong with that. If you want to do it, you have my blessing as your Apple guru to upgrade from the 12 to the 13 to get the latest and greatest features because you want it. If you want to do it, then don't let me stop you. But if you're looking at things from an objective standpoint and like a feature for feature thing, like should you really go to the 12 to the 13, then let me say this. If you have a 12 mini or 12 and you're looking at a 13 mini or 13, I really don't see a whole lot of reason to upgrade. You're basically gonna get the smaller notch, you're gonna get the better battery life, the A15, that's about it. No real big camera changes, no design changes. There's really not a lot of reason, objectively speaking, to go from the 12 mini or 12 to the 13 or 13 mini, in my opinion. If you're looking at a pro-end iPhone and you are really swayed by ProMotion or you really want an always-on display, that's nice, but I think really the bigger difference here is gonna be with the camera. If you make a living with your iPhone camera, you're a content creator, or family photos are super important, and you want the best cameras and the most versatility, then the 13 Pro and Pro Max does make sense, especially if you shoot a lot of video on your iPhone and you want the most in terms of video flexibility and portrait mode video capabilities and stuff like that. If you are really into photo and video on your iPhone, then it does make sense to get the best features from the 13 Pro and Pro Max. But as always, I want to hear your thoughts on this subject. Are you planning to upgrade to the iPhone 13? Is there enough new with those phones iPhones to get you to make the jump and upgrade your phone? And if you are upgrading, what iPhone do you have? And where do you think it makes sense in the iPhone lineup to upgrade? Do you think if you have a 10 or a 10s, it's worth it to go to the 13? Do you think that if you have an older iPhone, you should definitely go with the 13 or go with the 12? Or is the iPhone 12 just a much better deal and you shouldn't even consider the 13 and just buy a 12 used and just call it a day and save your money? What are your thoughts on this? Leave your comments down below. We can talk all about it. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you very much for watching the Apple Circle. I appreciate it. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I will see you all in the next one.